Hi, this is Brenda Beatty from Brenda Beatty's Brushstrokes. Today we're talking about wet in wet watercolor. This is a really fun way of painting. It can be a little frustrating at times. You have to know exactly how wet your paper should be. I have a rule here that says 5 minutes is the time you should use to wait before you start painting on a wet page. But that might not work in Vancouver or in somewhere that's drier, so you just have to experiment and see what you can come up with. The great thing about this is even if you use the same drawing every time, your painting will come out differently. Wait and see, it's really fun. Let's get at it. So what we're going to do today is a wet on wet painting. This is an approximate idea of what it will turn out like. When you use wet and wet technique, it's really hard to control. So you never know exactly what you're going to turn out with. What we're going to use is, this is a brush called a Hake. I call it a Hake, some people call it a Hake. It's a oriental brush, and I'm going to use it to put the water on. I will be using a number 8 watercolor brush. It's a synthetic, and possibly this number 1 white talon brush. I'm only using 2 colors today. I have Ultramarine blue and Viridian green. I'll mix them together to get different variety of color and value. You can see, probably you can't see, that I have drawn 2 trees and 2 snowbanks on this piece of paper. This is watercolor paper, 140-pound cold press. I usually use Arches, but this paper today is Fabriano. That's the make. I've used artist tape to tape it down. Normally I use masking tape. So I'm just going to wet the paper all the way down, both sides. Take a look to make sure you haven't left any dry spots. Then I'm going to wait for 5 minutes. That seems to be, I've timed it a couple of times, and that seems to be a good length of time. We want to wait until the sheen has just gone off the paper, but it's still wet, so it's not really shiny anymore. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. So the sheen is just about off our painting now. So now, this is the fun part. I'm going to mix some ultramarine with some Viridian. This is going to make quite a dark color, and I'll use varying degrees of it. So I'll put water in some cases. Now I'm using the same brush to mix both colors. It is what I like to do. Over here I'll have a couple of other colors, lighter values. So the tree, the mountain in the background is going to be the lightest color. Now, you can see how the paint just runs, and I think that's a little dark. I'm going to take most of the color off. So you can see that this is rather difficult to control, and when it dries, it's not going to be the same either. Whoops, it's best not to drop your paintbrush. So the paper is a little wetter than I thought it would be. I'm going to do the other hill here. Some parts of it are drier than others. that happens. I'm going to drop on the color here. This is going to be the branches sticking out of the snow. I'll probably speed this up so you don't die of boredom. So there's a couple of things that I don't like in here. I see some spots right here. They look like little white dots. So I'm going to use a wet paintbrush with a little bit of paint on it to get rid of some of these spots. A little more paint, I guess. There. And this line here is a little hard. I'm going to soften it. Whoops. I picked up a little red on my brush somehow. There we go. I'll add a little color to that. Now I have this beautiful color, just right. If I can make some more of it. This is a little dark. I'll keep adding water. How we make the colors lighter. I'm going to test this on a little piece of watercolor paper. If I can find one. Oh, that's perfect. So, down here to make this tree look like it's in the shadows. Here, all this beautiful white I'm covering up now with a light wash. Don't get it too dark. And it will look like the snow, the sun is sparkling on the snow here. I'm defining the edges of the snow also with this color, and adding a little bit of shadows here and there. Maybe a little darker in places. And that's about it. And our painting is finished. I hope you enjoy this and do give it a try. Thanks. Bye. Happy painting.